and he did not recall spitting directly on Mr. Reyes.
Right now.
You spit in my face.
Fahey admitted, yes, I did, but I don't remember doing it. He was arrested for being a drug dealer. A law enforcement officer was a drug dealer. The responding officers confirmed that a no trespassing sign was visibly posted, and omitting the area where the sign would have been clearly visible to viewers. I created this alternate reality because I'm trying to deceive each and every one of you. They are lying to your face. Who was wearing a mask and a hood. You can clearly see he does not have a hood on and he does not have a mask on. The Connecticut State Police are nothing but habitual and pathological liars. Connecticut State Police Internal Affairs report outlines a complete, accurate, and fair representation of the incident. The only people who are ever going to believe your lies are the people that already lick your boots, Colonel. Hey, what's up guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. Please take a second and hit that like button and share this video so it can be seen by as many people as possible. So let's get right into it. I'm going to pull up the Internal Affairs report here. This is the Internal Affairs Investigation Report. Subject is Sergeant Brian Fahey. Violation number 1. There's only one violation, and that's offenses that may result in disciplinary action, any conduct that would reflect negatively on the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. Example, conduct unbecoming. The Groton Police Department verified that a no trespassing sign was visibly posted in the grass along Sergeant Fahey's driveway. In the video posted by Sean Paul Reyes, he initially emphasizes the importance of being observant for no trespassing signs when approaching private property. However, during his initial approach to the Fahey residence, a noticeable video edit occurs between the timestamps 2:26 and 2:27. So that notable edit is from when I'm narrating my intro and then I am on the driveway, which skips over the specific portion of the driveway where the sign was located. A second edit is observed between timestamps 5:12 and 5:15 during Mr. Reyes' retreat from the property. Similarly, omitting the area where the sign would have been clearly visible to viewers. So they stated that the timestamp is 5:12 to 5:15 of my YouTube video, where I edited the no trespassing sign out to deceive all of you. As you can see, it's at the 5-minute mark.
Look at the gun in this.
They said it's edited between 5:12 and 5:15. So pay attention.
Goddamn right. I'm a Connecticut State
I don't
trooper.
care what shit who you are.
Trespassing on my property.
That doesn't matter. You can't break the law.
Kill me. You threatened to kill me online.
Right? No, I
Get
did
off
not.
my fucking
You're a
property.
liar.
Right now.
You are a liar.
Right now.
Look, see the big
Get off
beautiful
my
billboard
property.
truck? It's all being recorded.
I don't care.
It's all being. I
Get
know you
off
don't
my
care.
property
Because you don't face any
right now.
consequences.
Get off
You don't
my
face any
property.
consequences.
Right.
Blatant lie. It would have been clearly visible to his viewers because I'm trying to deceive each and every one of you. I created this alternate reality where there isn't a no trespassing sign, but there was one there before. Clearly. Based on the edited footage, it took approximately 2 minutes and 30 seconds for Mr. Reyes to vacate Sergeant Fahey's property after being directed to do so. What am I supposed to teleport? He has a very long driveway. Upon a comprehensive review, the video contains multiple additional edits, each of which may materially affect the continuity, context, and evidentiary reliability of the recorded encounter. There are no edits with the actual encounter with Sergeant former disgraced, unhinged Sergeant Brian Fahey. So the interviewer sought to understand how Sergeant Fahey felt in the moment he observed Sean Paul Reyes at his front door. A source found this newspaper article here, and you could see here that in 1993, former disgraced oath-breaking Sergeant Brian Fahey was charged with the use of drug paraphernalia and the sale of certain illegal drugs. And he was not prosecuted. He was arrested for being a drug dealer. I just thought it was interesting, since we want to talk about the past, we could talk about how a law enforcement officer was a drug dealer. And then not only that, he continued to be a criminal by violating people's constitutional rights, assaulting people. He's assaulted more than just me, by the way. I'm waiting for one of these victims to come forward because he has brutally assaulted another victim on camera, and they are terrified to let me post the video because they're scared of this man. Accompanied by another individual, my cameraman, who was wearing a mask and a hood. Now let's watch this video.
It sounds like you weren't leaving.
No. You're. This is why.
I'm trying to.
This is my cameraman, a 20-year-old, no criminal record, a great young man, a hardworking individual who is traumatized over this incident. He is a victim. Sergeant Fahey, all he does is create victims and the Groton Police Department. And you can clearly see the Connecticut State Police are nothing but habitual and pathological liars and oath breakers. You can see he does not have a hood on and he does not have a mask on. Very clearly for the world to see. They know that most of the Connecticut residents are not going to watch this video. They're not going to see me calling out their blatant lies. They're going to listen to the mainstream media, which we're going to take a look at that at the end of this video, where all they do, the corporate mainstream media, is regurgitate what the state police have said. They don't conduct any investigation. What happened to investigative journalism? That is why so many people are moving from mainstream corporate media to independent journalists like myself and others. Clearly, no mask, clearly, no hood. Was wearing a mask and a hood. It sounds really scary, doesn't it? Sergeant Fahey further explained that he was completely in shock and overwhelmed by an inexplicable feeling upon seeing Mr. Reyes at his front door, particularly knowing that that his family was home. He stated that everyone in his family was aware of who Mr. Reyes was and that his entire household went into a state of absolute panic. Sergeant Fahey emphasized that the event was very traumatic and has left his family deeply unsettled. He reiterated that he is still in shock, noting that although threats to come to his home have been made in the past, not by me, no one had ever actually come to his residence until this incident. Previously, such threats and confrontations occurred only at headquarters. However, on this occasion, Mr. Reyes arrived at Sergeant Fahey's private residence accompanied by another individual wearing a mask and a hood, who was standing on his front porch and lawn. I immediately got off of his porch, so that's another lie. Visibly upset, Sergeant Fahey described the situation as an emotional nightmare. You know what's an emotional nightmare? The atrocities you have committed against victims, not just myself, in Connecticut. The emotional nightmare is reliving your nasty, disgusting spit in my mouth and in my face. You disgusting, unhinged individual. Emotional nightmare is what my cameraman, an innocent young man, upstanding young man, going to jail, charged with a felony on baseless charges. That's an emotional damage. My wife, my children, my family seeing me almost murdered. That is traumatizing. Not walking up and knocking on the door. Sergeant Fahey was clearly disgusted, struggled to convey how terrible the situation has become and the impact it had on him and his family, describing the trauma as ridiculous and expressing uncertainty about how his family will ever recover from this ordeal. So this is Exhibit C to dispel these lies, featuring Kimberly Fahey, the wife of former disgraced Sergeant Brian Fahey. This video is courtesy of the Constitution State. Thank you. He was protesting peacefully with others outside of the Groton Police Department, not outside of former Sergeant Fahey's home, on the public road outside of the Groton Police Department.
Do you think if they're that scared, they wouldn't be going out and actively messing with people that are protesting, that don't agree with this? The first day, his wife shows up, drives by. We didn't know it was her. And she goes out of her way because she comes down, she turns into the school, she sits up there for 2-3 minutes, just sitting there. Then when she leaves the school, she drives with her phone in her hand, not even paying attention to the road, and then parks in the middle of the road to whine. She truly says, I gotta get the story straight. What exactly does everybody not have straight? I think everybody has it down to a T. And then not only that, his dumbass son was driving by, back and forth, taking pictures, which is whatever. But then when Paul and Connecticut Transparency pull out, somehow this weirdo magically ends up behind him. I thought these people were so scared, right? Scared enough to need to be protected by state police. And I sure hope Fahey's paying for that, because that's a private detail, right? If anybody else wants to rent a state trooper, they pay. They're lasers, dude. Did you see everybody that was in the comments? They were roasting him. They blocked me like it's Not long after I found him on Facebook. I kept calling them liars because they were posting lies. And,
You know?
There you go. There's Kimberly Fahey right here, following, harassing peaceful protesters, terrified. This is after this incident. She is terrified. She seems like she's pretty tough to me. She seems like she's really tough. What did you sign?
This one says Fahey gives great hawk tour. This one says pig spit is still spit. Go fuck yourself and get your story straight. You have no idea, bitch. Yeah. Get your story straight. I knew what she was doing right the minute she went, what's your sign say?
this is baby Fahey, Junior Fahey, following them out.
You got him?
Following peaceful protesters, following people, giving them the middle finger, as Kimberly did.
Gotcha, bitch.
This is the second day, and I was by myself.
2 days in a row. This is the second day. 2 days in a row, Kimberly. I mean, wow.
And she came by once again. Maybe they're just out doing this because they're upset that everybody's going to find out how much money Fahey's been stealing, and they might actually have to go get jobs.
That's a good point. I see in the comment section, distracted driving. Yeah, she's using her phone and driving at the same time. Maybe I need to go to Groton, provide this video, and she needs to be issued a citation. Again, accountability for everyone.
They might actually have to work because it seems like they have a lot of free time.
Yeah, fuck you.
That's her right there, ain't it?
She's coming back for more.
Oh, yeah. Change your rag. Change your rag. Fuck you, you.
Oh, yep, there she goes, just like her son or her son-in-law flipping the bird and stopping in the middle of the street.
Fuck you, you sloppy. Your plate would say BJ. Oh, Fahey's wife is definitely doing the pegging. Do you guys think this is appropriate? Do you think a state trooper's family members should be going out harassing protesters because their family member fucked up and now the world knows once again how much of a scumbag their family is? Honestly, to me, it seems like the whole family is delusional. They might all have mental health problems. And someone sent us a list of registered vehicles to Fahey. And lo and behold, the Jeep's on there, the Honda's on there. What a coincidence.
Kimberly is not terrified. She's not scared. She's not traumatizing, emotional, quote, an emotional nightmare. If that was really the case, why for 2 days straight you are pulling up to people unknown to you, protesting your husband, giving them the middle finger, cursing at them, screaming at them? Why is your son or your son-in-law doing the same thing, harassing people, following them around, going back and forth? Lies, more lies. They're not traumatized. They're just as unhinged savages as Fahey. Sergeant Fahey further described that Mr. Reyes did not comply by leaving or turning away to walk down the driveway. Excuse me? Instead, he positioned himself deeper into the yard. What? Are these people like delusional? Like, do they not think that we have the video? I positioned myself deeper into the yard. They have me second guessing myself, really. I mean, the way they could just lie like this. Let's take a look.
There is no posted sign. There's no problem.
Immediately.
Do you have any, let's go. Do you have any comment on the allegations that you are, I am moving. Do you have any comment on the allegations that you are receiving? Ladies and gentlemen, he was so angry. Couldn't even get the question out. He says that there's no trespassing signs. Let's see. Let's see if there's no trespassing signs.
Back turned.
What a coward. He can assault me in broad daylight while receiving taxpayer money. But the minute an independent journalist comes to his home, and he's probably going to try and get me unlawfully arrested now. As you can see, I moved back his camera that says you're currently being recorded.
Back turned. There is nowhere else for me to go, ladies and gentlemen. The direction I was walking was literally the quickest direction. Visibly upset, Sergeant Fahey stated that they came to his home that day, and in the moment, his primary duty was to protect his family. His family was in the opposite direction of where he was moving. I was moving away from his home and his family, and so was he. So was he. He wasn't protecting his home and his family. We all know this. We're not idiots. He was trying to kill me. He was trying to end my life. So I spat in my face. That's why he said I threatened to kill him. He was trying to kill me. Period. He further explained that because he was wearing gym shorts and did not have a compatible holster for that attire, he was unable to safely holster his firearm. As a result, he carried it at a low ready position in accordance with his training. During the interaction, Sergeant Fahey identified himself as a Connecticut State Trooper, a goddamn Connecticut State Trooper, not to justify carrying the firearm, but because it was an instinctual response aimed at compelling Mr. Reyes to turn around and walk down the driveway. First of all, another lie. Let's call this out. Another lie. I said, get that gun out of your hand. Yeah, he's a gun in his hand. He said, you're damn right. I'm a goddamn Connecticut State Trooper. So it was to justify carrying the firearm. You liars. Liars. These are the people that are in positions of power who have authority over us. A response aimed at compelling Mr. Reyes to turn around and walk down the driveway, which I was already doing. However, Mr. Reyes did not comply. Instead, he continued recording, and according to Sergeant Fahey, continued to victimize him. Sergeant Fahey, the victim of this entire situation. Right. Continued to victimize him and his family. Sergeant Fahey that he eventually reached a point where he didn't know what else to do. Maybe go back inside with your family. I don't know. During the interaction with Jean-Paul Reyes, Sergeant Fahey acknowledged that he was yelling at Mr. Reyes and emphasized that he was spitting the entire time as he screamed. He stated that at the time of the incident, he did not recall spitting directly on Mr. Reyes.
Right now.
You spit in my face.
He stated at the time of the incident, he did not recall spitting directly on Mr. Reyes.
Right now.
You spit in my face.
However, after subsequently viewing the video of the encounter, Sergeant Fahey admitted, yes, I did, but I don't remember doing it. So this individual, a law enforcement officer who has used excessive force on multiple people, bashing people's faces in, violating people's constitutional rights, assaulting people, just can black out. He blacked out. He blacked out. He spat in my face and mouth and didn't remember it. What a liar. What a liar. But at least he admits he did. Yes, I did. I mean, take that for what it's worth. Once Jean-Paul Reyes crossed into the cul-de-sac and stepped off the curtilage of Sergeant Fahey's property, Sergeant Fahey disengaged from the interaction. Is that true? He disengaged? Let's take a look.
Going to jail.
Don't ever come back to my house
It's
again.
okay for you to assault people and break people's property, but I can't ask questions about your overtime, $75,000 for a desk job? More than that, right.
So to me, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't look like he disengaged. It looked like he re-engaged. I mean, I must be crazy. I must be seeing things. I don't know. A review of the Groton Police Department's reports reveals several key findings. Notably, responding officers confirmed that a no trespassing sign was visibly posted in the grass along the driveway of Sergeant Fahey's residence. They're lying directly to you, ladies and gentlemen. They are lying to your face. Additionally, upon their own review of the video posted by Jean-Paul Reyes, Groton police personnel observed that Mr. Reyes verbally emphasized the importance of identifying no trespassing signage. I did. When approaching private property. True. However, the video appears to contain edits that omit the portion of the driveway where the sign was located, both during the initial approach to the residence and during Mr. Reyes' subsequent retreat from the property. Let's see here. This is the moments before I went onto the property. Me just talking to my cameraman. Let's take a look.
He lives down this private road here. Nice. Must be nice. Like you always got.
This is never before seen footage.
He lives down this private road.
I'm about to expose myself, ladies and gentlemen.
Road here. Nice. Must be nice. Like you always got to be like on the lookout for. That's why I went up here and read this sign. It says private road, but it doesn't say like no trespassing or anything like that. Because if you pass a no trespassing sign that you can clearly see, you can get arrested for that. So you have to be sure to make sure that you don't have any sort of signs. Just because it's a private road doesn't mean that you can't go on it. You know, people knock on people's doors all the time to try and sell them stuff, you know, so.
Look, this is my initial approach right here. First time I'm walking on the property. This was not included in the original because it didn't matter.
Just come up like to the side of me. Just like get in front of me. Like record in front of me. Like so that way the camera could see exactly what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? So stay a little bit in front of me and just keep walking. And then I'll talk if I need to. Just because I want to make sure that, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to make sure that we're not crossing into any.
Oh, what's this? This is the sign they're referring to that I edited out of my video. Number one, this sign is clearly visible from my video. Clearly. From the original video. What you're watching now wasn't in my video. As you can see, I was talking to my cameraman, telling him to be on the lookout for no trespassing signs, as we don't want to break the law. We don't want to get arrested. We want to do the right thing here in compliance with state law and our constitutional rights. What does this say here? It's a little hard to read. Private road, dead end, no turnaround. That sounds to me, private road, dead end, no turnaround. Does that sound like a no trespassing sign to you? The state police, the Groton police, they confirmed it in their extensive and thorough investigation, right? That's what they did. They confirmed that there are no trespassing sign, and I did a Houdini and magically made it disappear. Private road, dead end, no turnaround. That sounds like a sign meant for a vehicle, right? I wasn't in a vehicle. That private road has a public easement, has an easement attached to it, the private road. As you see, it connects to two different houses.
Trespassing signs.
There's the sign. Let's see. Maybe we're missing something. Let's continue.
So as always, I want to be on the lookout for any no trespassing signs. Restricted area. I don't see why I would see restricted area. So as always, you always want to be on the lookout for any no trespassing signs, restricted area.
This is why it was cut out, ladies and gentlemen. And I started the video here. It's because I kept messing up my words when I was explaining look out for no trespassing signs, restricted area, etc., etc. But again, we have the original. Isn't that great? So you saw me walk all the way up from the street. Remember, unedited, the smoking gun that's going to get me convicted of criminal
signs. I don't see why there would be in this neighborhood here, but we just want to ask some questions, see what's going on with this overtime allegation. Hopefully he answers us.
There's no edits here. Like, where's the sign? I must be missing. Like, is it invisible? Oh, wait. Towards this property, there's another private road sign. Look at that. Private road. Well, I don't know for sure what it is. I have no, it looks like the same sign from earlier in the driveway, but I don't know. I have no idea. There's no way of me zooming in on this. I've tried. It looks like a blurry mess. But regardless, this house right here, this residence here is Sergeant Fahey's residence, former disgraced sergeant, Brian Fahey's residence. So that sign, whatever it says, I believe it says private road again. It looks exactly like the sign we saw earlier, but it definitely wouldn't apply to whatever it is, wouldn't apply to him. We'll let it go a little bit longer, and nope. No signs except for this sign right here with his address on it that I was kind enough to blur out. They lie to you. They lie directly to your face. Hit the like button if you hate when the state police and public servants who are meant to serve us lie directly to you and think you're stupid. During the verbal exchange, Sergeant Fahey intentionally spit in the face and mouth of Sean Paul Reyes. This action captured on video and verbally acknowledged by Mr. Reyes at the time of the incident. While Sergeant Fahey stated he does not recall spitting on Mr. Reyes, he does not dispute that it occurred. He actually admitted that it occurred. He doesn't, again, they can't even write. This conduct is behavior that reflects negatively on the department. Dated July 24th, 2025. Sergeant Alex Pierston. Badge number 263. Investigator. Supervisor's information. Major Alessandro Giannone. Badge number 7. Commanding Officer, Bureau of Professional Standards and Compliance. These people engaged in conduct unbecoming that will reflect badly on the state police. They did. And that's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. They mentioned the suspension. They said that he was put on unpaid suspension. So if this was signed off on July 24th, he retired on August 4th. He worked from July 11th to July 24th without a suspension. And then he was on unpaid suspension, presumably from the 25th for 5 days before he retired. Insane. So I wanted to also show you this really quick, ladies and gentlemen.
An internal affairs investigation report
I want to show you how the mainstream media, corporate news, how they're reporting on this. Let's take a look.
Tonight at 11, an internal affairs investigation report is out on an incident involving a now retired state trooper. Last month, this video went viral showing Sergeant Brian Fahey being confronted at his home in Groton by a YouTuber and his photographer.
Independent. You know where I got this video from? I got this video from YouTube. Are you a YouTuber, lady? Is your network YouTubers? Independent journalist. I am a journalist. I post way more than just on YouTube. All of social media. I don't get it. I report on matters of public interest.
Those two were arrested, and tonight we've learned Fahey was disciplined as well. Amanda Callahan is your reporter live from State Police headquarters in Middletown to break down this report. Amanda.
What do you guys say?
Well, Aaron, State Police confirmed today that Sergeant Brian Fahey was placed on unpaid leave while this investigation was unfolding. Now, this is the internal affairs report right here, and it says that Fahey's conduct reflected negatively on the department, but it also details some of what wasn't shown in that viral video, as well as the many threats that both Fahey and his family were receiving.
Get off my property.
Get that gun out of your hand.
Get off my property.
Get that gun out of your
Connecticut State Trooper.
I don't care who you are.
It's this confrontation between State Police Sergeant Brian Fahey and YouTuber Sean Paul Reyes on July 11th that sparked an internal affairs investigation.
You are.
Right now.
You spit in my face.
My property
You're
right
going
now.
to jail now.
Reyes showed up to Fahey's private home on July 11th to confront the sergeant about overtime pay, and the scary encounter quickly escalated. Fahey admitted to spitting at Reyes, which is ultimately what warranted disciplinary action. The report says that conduct reflects negatively on the department. A statement released by the state police says, quote, as a result of this investigation, Sergeant Fahey was disciplined with an unpaid suspension prior to his retirement. But the report also says the video is missing context, that prior to the confrontation, there were violent ongoing threats aimed at both Sergeant Fahey and his family, some of them coming from comments on YouTube, others in emails, Facebook messages, phone calls to his personal number in police barrack, and pieces of mail, some of them even death threats. The report also says the cameraman with Reyes was wearing a mask and a hood, and that Fahey's property was clearly marked with no trespassing signs that aren't shown in Reyes' video. Fahey's daughter and wife were also home at the time of the incident, the report saying his wife's 911 call clearly conveyed fear and stress. But Reyes disagrees with some of what the investigation found, claiming his cameraman was not in a mask or hood and that he never saw no trespassing signs. He says, quote, the state police self-described fair, accurate, and complete internal affairs report is anything but. Now, Fahey was retired officially as of August 1st. State police say he made that decision in May of this year. So before this whole confrontation unfolded, there is a civil lawsuit pending between Reyes and Fahey. There's also a protective order for Fahey as part of Reyes and his photographer's bond. Your reporter live in Middletown tonight, Amanda Callahan, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Great reporting, Amanda. Great job. You're a real journalist, regurgitating what other people have said. Why wouldn't you watch the video? You didn't have to say that I alleged that he wasn't wearing a mask. You could have said that he wasn't. You could have reported that the state police is covering up for Fahey, because that's clearly what they're doing. You could have done any sort of investigation. It wasn't hard for me to find the videos of Fahey's wife, Kimberly Fahey, harassing peaceful protesters, getting aggressive, following them around. That you could have reported on that. You could have reported on a bunch of things. You chose not to, didn't you, Amanda? Again, this is why people don't really trust the mainstream media. This is the Colonel Daniel Loftman. This is the leader Besides the commissioner, this is the leader. Let's see what he had to say. This is the statement he put out for the world to see before. On Monday, July 11, 2025, Connecticut State Police Sergeant Fahey was confronted while off duty of his home by a self-described digital content creator. That's not what I've never described myself as, a digital content creator. An internal affairs investigation was immediately initiated by the Connecticut State Police to review the actions of Sergeant Fahey. The internal affairs investigation was completed on Thursday, July 24th, and sustained a charge of conduct on becoming against Fahey. I commend the swift and thorough work of our internal affairs unit. As a result of this investigation, Sergeant Fahey was disciplined and then retired with his golden parachute of his taxpayer-funded pension. But okay, with an unpaid suspension prior to his retirement. Sergeant Fahey previously provided notice of his intended retirement May 2025. I have FOIA requested that notice. I don't know if that's true or not. Then that his retirement became effective August 1st. The Internal Affairs Investigation Report has been released today in accordance with FOIA laws. And I encourage our trusted media partners like Amanda there, our trusted media partners to review this report and take it as gospel truth, right? Gospel truth, the report. Unlike the edited videos and inaccurate accounts, Colonel Loftman, you're disgusting. You are a disgusting oath-breaking tyrant. I'd rather be anything other than an oath-breaking tyrant to our country. You're a liar. You have lied to the American people, to the people across this country and the world. You have gaslighted them, and the only people who are ever going to believe your lies and your propaganda, your creative writing, are the people that already lick your boots, Colonel. I believe that the Connecticut State Police Internal Affairs Report outlines a complete, accurate, and fair representation of the incident, as well as the information and details leading up to the confrontation on July 11th. We will continue to fight for our constitutional rights, for transparency and accountability in our government. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next one. Long Island Audit. Peace.